Just a minute. Okay. It's a pleasure to welcome Professor K.N. Pathak. K.N. Pathak, he was my teacher, mentor, and inspiration. From him, I inspired to learn basic physics. Okay, so it will be a very wonderful talk for all the participants, those who are listening today. Sarabjot, please introduce Professor K.N. Pathak.
Thank you, sir. After a sumptuous meal for the body, it is time for a sumptuous meal of knowledge. I welcome all the worthy scientists, faculty members, and physics lovers in the noon session of Day 3 of ESTC titled Current Trends in Condensed Matter Physics CTCMP 2020. For this session, we are blessed by the gracious presence of a renowned physicist, Dr. K.N. Pathak, Professor Emeritus, Department of Physics, former Vice Chancellor, Punjab University, Chandigarh. Dr. Pathak personifies excellence and achievement. He completed his BSc from Agra University in 1960, MSc from Allahabad University 1962, and PhD from IIT Kanpur 1966. He has 37 years of rich experience in teaching both graduate and undergraduate students, not only in India, but abroad too. He has a rich legacy of about 140 research publications in international journals of eminence and also served as referee in several others. He has supervised 13 PhD, 6 MPhil, and 2 postdoc fellows. He has delivered more than 150 invited lectures in various conferences. He has a long list of awards and honors to his credit. To quote a few, Postdoc Fellowship Award, National Research Council of Canada, 1967, Associate Member, ICTP Italy, 72 to 77, Alexander von Humboldt Senior Fellowship Award, 1977, UGC National Lecturer Award, 86 to 87, Meghnad Saha Award, 1996, and believe me, the list is endless. In addition to his academic responsibilities, he has been an active administrator holding prime positions in Punjab University and PGIMR, Chandigarh. Without further delay and in dearth of words to glorify him, I invite Dr. K.N. Pathak to bestow his knowledgeable aura upon us all. Sir, please.
Hello. Good afternoon to everybody. And I am really thankful to the organizer for inviting me to this lecture seminar, and very kind word expressed by both of them, the introducer and Binod. I really appreciate that. It is because of you, my students, I am standing where I am at today. Please excuse me that my language is not that good because of age, it has distorted, but I will try my best to explain as much as I can. So, next. Now, I will be talking today metallic quantum wire, and there has been already many talks, at least 3 talks, two talks. The last talk by Rajinder Modgil was very clear and lucid. So he has made my task very simple, but just for the recollecting, I will speak some of the points, particularly for the benefit of students. So I will be starting with the metallic electron gas and slowly build up. And so the electron gas and the interaction between them, that is the problem, very simple problem to begin with, but it is difficult to solve as the correlation in solid or liquid, as you have seen this morning, and in the electrons is very difficult problem, and many questions are still remains to be answered. And also there is an effect of dimensionality, and physics changes from 3 dimension to go to the 1 dimension for this these Fermi systems, particularly as Bose system as well. Physics changes as the dimension changes, and best known example is in 2 dimensional there is a phase transition, and 1 dimension is a different kind of liquid behavior we observe. Thouless transition, Kosteries and Thouless transition comes in 2 dimensions. That's a special phenomena because of electron-electron interaction. So let us begin. Electron gas can be described in presence of neutralizing background with ions and electrons of equal charge density to have a neutral system. Just like here the uniform charge distribution and ions are there. Ions are providing the uniform distribution and electrons are embedded in them. So whole system is neutral. So this is a two-dimensional electron gas. You can imagine its analog in 3 dimensions. And here is the ions and the electrons surrounding. So this is just the uniform. This is you can think of a crystalline material or something like that. And here is the one-dimensional material, one-dimensional wire. That is what I am interested in. Today's talk, I will be talking only one dimension. Specific heat is no. Suppose I ask you a question that how you can know that electrons are degenerate. They obey quantum mechanics in a metal. The answer, I think, is very simple, but many students do not recall it, because this you can prove that electrons obey quantum mechanics in 3-dimensional system or in any 2-dimensional system or 1-dimensional system. Just measure the specific heat, which is proportional to T, which was mentioned by Moodgill yesterday. Purely quantum effect. You cannot get it classically. In fact, only experimental proof that electrons obey Fermi characteristics in metal is the Pauli spin susceptibility, and Landau diamagnetism is another example. So these 3 experiments prove that Pauli spin susceptibility is measured, and Landau diamagnetism cannot be measured, but the theoretical formulas which can be derived only through quantum mechanics. And further differences, now it is phase space differences. Phase, because of the dimensional difference in density of states in 1 dimension is in 3 dimensions is a root of energy. The energy per unit energy density, energy per number of states per unit energy. Energy density means number of energy states per unit density is proportional to epsilon. In 2 dimensions, it is constant. That's very different, and this gives rise to some unique property to 2 dimensions. And this is just phase space, effect of phase space. And in 1 dimension, it is 1 upon root of epsilon for normal Fermi liquid. It is only for the normal Fermi liquid, because here the excitations are assumed to be free particle. That energy is k square over 2m, and in a not normal Fermi liquid, it is same in the 2 dimension, 1 dimension, and normal Fermi liquid also it is k square. But in 1 dimension there is another liquid, so density of state there will be different because of the interaction of the electron. The density of states will be different. This is only for a quadratic dispersion. And Fermi surface in 3D is spherical, 2D it is circle, and 1D it is a point. Here I think this slide was explained very well by Rajinder. So particle whole spectrum in 2D and 1D. You see this is a this 2D and 3D particle whole spectrum is this. This is Fermi surface, and Kf is the Fermi energy. So if you excite an electron from within the Fermi C, a Fermi circle or Fermi point, it goes to energy to the give momentum Q. So go K plus Q. The energy difference K plus Q whole square minus K square. If you study this, in case of this 3 dimension and 2 dimension, it goes like this. That means energy, this is allowed energy range. In this region, imaginary part of the imaginary part of the response function is non-zero, and in this is zero. So if you expect any excitation, you can expect here or here, but by this time they are already damped by decay into particle hole excitation. This is particle hole spectrum, and one dimension you can see here is a difference. This is a note the difference in one dimension, that the energy level in this range is also allowed, because you have a imaginary part 0 in this region. This is difference again, I think, is coming because of phase space, but this gives opens a concept that you can have elementary excitation in this region also, and in this region, and in this region. So that's why there is a, in one dimension there is a charge separation, and so there are spin wave kind of excitation they can exist in this region, and so there are two low lying excitation in one dimension different than plasma oscillations are there here as well in one dimension, and there is also a spin wave like excitation, there is boson here, and this there is a plasma here in this region. That is a dispersion depends on the Coulomb interaction, but in a Luttinger liquid, both are linear. Both are linear, this boson-like structure. Plasma is also boson, and this is also boson. Now, momentum distribution function, for example, in the normal Fermi liquid, it is theta kf minus k, and this is well known. And for interacting Fermi liquid, it has a weight here, zk strength, which is less than 1, and but still it remains abrupt transition here. But in case of Luttinger liquid, momentum distribution is get modified. It becomes continuous. This, and power law behavior. This power law behavior is very different than this power law behavior for normal Fermi liquid. This is also Fermi liquid, but it is called Luttinger-Tomonaga liquid. So this is first definition. I will tell you that the experimental look for power law behavior in various quantities, such as spin charge separation and signature of one signature of 1D behavior. Luttinger Tomonaga liquid. So that is the first thing you should know, that momentum density at k is equal to kf is continuous. That's a lesson can be carried. And from the figure, it is noted that 1D particle cannot avoid each other. That means if electron moves there, this also pushes it back, and this sort of motion takes place. This I am not going to discuss more detail about the Luttinger liquid. I will be mostly dealing with the Fermi liquid, but some effect which we observe, we will not tell you. The interesting physics come from the reduced dimensionality and Coulomb interaction. I think this is the more important. Dimensionality and Coulomb interaction both. A consequence of both. The electron in 1D do not obey the conventional Fermi liquid theory. They do not obey Fermi liquid theory, and an appropriate description is given by exactly soluble Tomonaga Luttinger liquid model for a contact interaction. For example, any fermion contact interaction, you can solve the exact Hamiltonian, or you can find the power law behavior in various quantities there. Consequence, Nk no more a step function at k is equal to kf at t is equal to 0, but it has power law behavior at k is equal to kf. Nk is proportional to k minus kf. Alpha is greater than 0 and less than 1. So you can derivative of this is a diverging. Alpha minus 1 will come here. So the derivative is diverging like power law, and in a Fermi liquid, derivative goes as a delta function. The divergence is delta function. Here it is power law. That is difference between the Fermi liquid and the Bose liquid. So I think I have been able to explain to you what is the difference between Fermi liquid and Luttinger liquid. Normal Fermi liquid, or you can call it abnormal Fermi liquid or Luttinger liquid. So that is a major difference, one of the major difference, and this leads to various differences in the correlation function. I will not have time to discuss the other correlation function, but this momentum distribution function is a correlation function between annihilation and creation operator. A dagger A correlation function. This is also a dagger A creation and annihilation operator correlation function decays like this, and derivative goes as power law. So this is power law behavior, and this is a different in step theta function. This is this. Well, here there are some definitions which were explained yesterday in detail, and just compare kinetic energy and potential energy. Potential energy E square by R naught, and kinetic energy is just cos kf square over 2m. The electron per electron, the length per electron is 1 upon n. So you can also here notice the classical and quantum situation that if density is low, R naught is higher. If density is high, R naught is smaller. And here if you take the ratio potential to kinetic energy, that is just R naught divided by A naught. A naught is the unit, atomic unit of the distance. So 1 upon n here. So RS, high density means small RS. Our small RS means the potential energy is small compared to the kinetic energy. That is the weakly interacting. You can call it a weakly interacting system. And if n is small, RS is larger. That is a strongly interacting system. In that case, RS greater than 1, potential energy is much larger. And this is the correlated regime, this one. And however, this classification breaks down in the case of normal Fermi liquid. In normal Fermi liquid, even very small interaction leads to the modifies the free electron behavior drastically. So that is one major difference here. Even though RS is very small, but the effect of the interaction modifies the free electron-like behavior very differently, very strongly rather. It produces many new phenomena. Okay. Now, this is a motion of electron is free in now the model which I have chosen is motion of electron is free in along, because I am talking of a wire. How do you visualize theoretically, and how it is prepared experimentally? So this is a concept which you should know something about it. So motion of electron is free along x direction, while confined along y and z direction. So y and z direction it is confined. So the plane confinement is generally very strong, and electrons are present in the lowest energy subband for the x motion. So I explain it better. This is a Schrodinger equation, one particle Schrodinger equation. If electron moves in a potential Vxyz, and this is the Schrodinger equation. So that means Vx is 0 in the x direction, and yz direction it is a confined with a harmonic potential. You create harmonic. Well, imagine that in the along the line you have no potential, but in perpendicular direction. So there is a harmonic potential. They are confined with harmonic potential. You can think of it as cylindrical kind of things, rectangular kind of things, and you can also think of cylindrical kind of things. Electron moves there, and so you can see this energy level will split. It will be free electron like k square over 2m, or and in the plane it will be harmonic oscillator energy. So you can see, you add the two terms if you plot, so you can get various energy level. So the lowest energy level we will be confining to the lowest energy level, and so the for electron Hamiltonian, you have the very simple form looking Hamiltonian, kinetic energy plus potential energy. Coulomb repulsion term here is there, and so therefore the one electron wave function is of the form, as I told you, it is plane wave, along the x direction, and y and z direction it can be confirmed by any potential. But I have chosen to be harmonic oscillator potential in both the direction. So it is just wave function, it becomes product of phi 1 and phi 2. So if you take the Fourier transform of the structure power factor, it's called, which Dr. Rajinder discussed very detailed in this. So for geometry, the wave function in the plane is taken to be harmonic oscillator, and the potential comes out to be this, and vertically it comes out to be this, and x equal to 0, it is constant, it is no more diverging. Otherwise, it is e square upon x, but x equal to 0, you can see that this is diverging. And Fourier transform of this potential, I am discussing this because I need it more detail in my discussion. This can be found out this analytically very simple. And I considered another model, similarly another smoothened Coulomb potential is this, x square plus b square. And Fourier transform of this is just Bessel function of second kind of 0th order, this. So cylindrical wire, I will call it a cylindrical wire. This I will call it harmonic wire. So I will be studying two model, harmonic wire and cylindrical wire. And then in the end, you will see something interesting. This is small q behavior, you know, for small q, Fourier transform goes in BQ tend to 0, log BQ, it diverges. Just like in a three-dimensional Fourier transform of Coulomb potential is 1 by q square, so that diverges, but here it diverges logarithmic. And for large q, it is a Coulombic here. Just three-dimensional potential diverges 1 by q, decreases 1 by q. And for cylindrical potential, it is again log BQ. For BQ to 0, it is same, apart from some constants which are immaterial, because this is the largest term. And but larger q, this is a not Coulombic type. This decays exponentially. Of course, it goes to 0. Fourier transform goes to 0. So this is one strong difference. But incidentally, this b tending to 0 limit, both they produce both results exactly same. Well, energy momentum distribution relation for graphene is a material. Graphene, the material used to make carbon nanotube. This is single wire nanotube. This was discussed yesterday also. So here you can get one-dimensional chain model, and this single wire carbon nanotube in particular seem to exhibit behavioral characteristics of one-dimensional electron gas. So single wire, carbon nanotube provides experimental object for 1D material. Well, here it is a backguard salt and semiconductor who are, this one-dimensional can provided by this, which is a one-dimensional, it can be confined in this direction. And method, I think, it was explained by Rajinder, so I don't want to go to this. And this is also one-dimensional thing we can approximate. That is how the fabrication of material is done and experiments are done. So I am giving this simply because just so that you know that you can theoretically also conceptualize one-dimensional system as well as experimentally. It can be achieved by experiment, by fabrication of the material. So that is basic idea, that this one-dimensional can be realized in theory as well as can be realized in experiments also by fabrication method, which I do not know much about that. So I just, here there is a platinum atom on Germanium substrate. You can see this kind of there. The existence of 1D electronic states between self-organized platinum nanowire, space 1.6 to 2.4 nanometer on germanium 1001 surface is observed by low temperature scanning tunneling microscopy. So this is the experimental material on which experiments have been done, and I will not be able to go to talk about the experiments. But now, as you have been hearing, that many body problem is difficult to solve, and in physics I think there are very few problems which can be solved exactly. There are few models, no real problem can be solved exactly. However, there is now method, quantum Monte Carlo simulation methods by which you can solve the problem exactly. Many body Schrodinger equation can be solved by quantum simulation methods. There have been several methods for solving the Schrodinger equation. The main purpose is here to find a Schrodinger wave function. And once you know the Schrodinger wave function, as you will see, you know the ground state energy of the system. That is the main point to talk about this. This is a very important method and very powerful method. It has been used since 60s in classical mechanics, classical physics, but not in experimental, not in the quantum mechanics, because quantum mechanics requires much powerful computer. That has been possible now. You can do the quantum mechanics of any system you want, but you have to be clever enough to design the program, a software. So as you know, the ground state energy is given by ground state many body wave function. R is collective coordinate. H is the total many body Hamiltonian. Psi 0 is the wave function. Psi 0 star H psi 0 divided by normalization of the wave function, many body wave function. Using a trial wave function psi r, a variational estimate E is given by greater than or equal to E0. That means you can estimate ground state energy by if you minimize the energy. This energy, if you minimize by choosing the trial wave function, varying the parameter in trial wave function. Now, what should be? Well, this is one trivial steps. Formulate it as a Monte Carlo integral. Monte Carlo integral. You can see here. You can add psi star and divide by psi divide by psi. If you multiply here by psi, then these two psi star psi become psi square, which is there here, and psi yes psi divided by psi. You can define that EL. So you can write down this expression as psi r square ELR, where EL is called the total local energy. So Casino code has been, people have invented a code, University of Cambridge, which can provide you the minimization method of this integral. So what is the now in physics in the variational method? You have, because you know it's a fermions, and fermions you have to have the total wave function is determinantal. But determinantal wave function, when you change the coordinate, there is sign change, there is a problem. But the gas was chosen to be ferromagnetic state. So all the electrons are in either up or down. So the wave function becomes a spinless boson kind of wave function, and then that is added a Jastrow factor is added, and that is a parameter. That is parameter, and by that you minimize the wave function. So once you minimize the wave function, you get the minimum energy, ground state energy, and you get the many body wave function. Most important, many body wave function. By that you can calculate various things, which I have, some of them I have told, I will be telling more. You can see the, we can observe the, simulation data of correlation energy in unit of Hartree or in thin wire is well represented. This is the exactly equation obtained from quantum Monte Carlo simulation, but valid only for small rs. You can see this series is for small rs, only 3 terms we have given, because what we did is we simulated the ground state energy and subtracted from that Hartree-Fock energy, that is kinetic and exchange energy. So this correlation energy we fitted with this formula. They fit exactly, up to this figure. There is a correlation 3 here, 1 here, and 1 here. Exactly fit with the simulated. There's a lot of details. I think with Vinod, Rajesh, they know about how to take thermodynamic limit and all that from the raw data. So all that has been done. That means it is now, we have of course taken only 100 electron or something like that, but they have been extrapolated to n tending to infinity. So this is a thermodynamic correlation is in one dimension. So incidentally, this was entirely new result obtained by Binod, and the conventional perturbation theory gives the expression for this, which was obtained by Luz. So this term you can see is exactly the same. Pi square by 360 0 2 7 416 416 431. That's the difference here in simulation. But this cannot be exact anyway. Well, there are error, any statistical error are there. Everybody tries to eliminate them, that you cannot completely eliminate some uncertainty, because you require larger n tending to infinity, and from then it will be exactly. But this is a obtained by limiting process. It is a thermodynamic limit has obtained by limiting process. So there are various details of the calculation on which the accuracy depends. But this can see it is a 1, 2, 3, 4 up to 4 place. It is the same. You can see here. So QMC is also provides psi r for the ground state energy, as I have been emphasizing that the wave function, you know, you can calculate any quantity you want for the system. Now, first I calculated the momentum distribution function here. We calculated the momentum distribution from the optimized wave function, and this correlation function can be written in wave function way by this one. Psi TR, trial wave function, optimized trial wave function, and psi T x1 e raised for I k x1 minus x. And this is plotted. We have studied only the low density, as I said. High density was studied by someone else. So we studied only low density. And you can see here the there is no singularity, as you know, if you plot the k is equal to k up to 1, you can see the tail here. Power law you can see clearly here. You can see power law behavior clearly. And here also this is power law, it can be fitted. We can find the index, power law index in the next slide. This is again plot, and nk, as you can say, you can represent nkf plus some constant. We have fitted the data with this sign of signature of k minus kf plus or minus, depending on k value, k minus kf. And this alpha, as I said earlier, it is 0 greater than 0. So alpha is related with the Luttinger parameter k rho by this formula. This is a quadratic equation. You can solve it, and you can find out one of the Luttinger parameter. If you have studied Fermi liquid theory, there are 2 Fermi liquid parameters there, and those 2 Fermi parameter gives the compressibility and susceptibility. So here also there are 2 parameters, k rho and k sigma. We have not studied the sigma, but we have studied only k rho. So there are only 2 parameters you can describe the Luttinger liquid. So this kind of and we calculated this k rho from in the small rs, and calculated by earlier authors for large rs. They smoothly go to small rs to large rs. This results have been published. So that's a very interesting finding of this work, that the k rho depends smoothly on the rs, from small rs to large rs. That is one finding. Well, now I try to come to the theory, whether we can, how can we get the various quantity of things. And as I have been emphasizing, that it is very difficult to obtain the exact result for many body systems, real systems. For models, it is possible to obtain exact result. But here, I think I can tell you that RS tending to 0, we find all the result exactly like ground state energy, exchange energy, and also analytically pair correlation function, GR, and the structure factor, Fourier transform. This have been discussed in this lecture many times. GR and S of Q, a structure factor, we obtained exactly for RS tending to 0 limit, and that agrees with the simulation data. So this calculation is very lengthy, but that is the result I have told you. I will again summarize later on. So let me just introduce, I think it has been discussed, what is the response function? This is just Ohm's law. The density fluctuation is proportional to the external potential applied. You apply external potential, there is a density respond through this equation. And there is another exact equation that density fluctuation is proportional to chi-screen. I call it chi-screen. In many body languages, it's called irreducible response function. Irreducible from diagrams, one can show that it is irreducible response function, and this is proportional to the Fourier transform of the potential and density fluctuation plus external potential. If you solve this equation, delta rho by V external, which is chi, as you can see, delta rho by external, you get here. So here you get exact expression. This is the exact expression proved in many body theory, but this can be cast in another way in the form of GQ omega. But then you have only free response function. But our originally expression comes like this. So we have used the irreducible response function here and calculated this irreducible response function. First, if you put chi first term, it is a series. But nobody knows what happens to the series for all RS as RS increases. Further, these terms and this term have been obtained in this theory. This term we have obtained. This we obtained. Modigliani is also a party to that. For chi1 we have obtained, and chi2 has obtained by other German workers. We have not been able to use chi2 because that will again give result, some exact results, but calculation may be lengthy. But there is an open problem for the students. They can follow this thing and substitute in this equation and calculate the various quantity. And then the technique is same. It's very old technique. You use the fluctuation dissipation theorem, and at t equal to 0, it is this. Rajinder used for finite temperature, he got cosine. Another very old result, this integral in the real omega, along the real axis, omega, as you can see, you can convert into the imaginary axis by integration, compressed integration method, and I find it very useful. Previously, I was very hesitant to use that. Rajinder knows it. He told me, he taught me this method. But then when I enjoyed this, actually, this particular, converting this integral to the imaginary axis is so nice that it is this integral which is responsible for all the result we have obtained. We people have obtained here in Chandigarh. So now you can see if you substitute the ground state energy comes because you have now chi and this thing. This is also he wrote equation. Now you can write down E0, E exchange, E correlation, as I said. So exchange energy can be written this can be simplified because it involves non-interacting response function, and then simple equation comes out, well-known expression comes out to the S0 minus Q. Now you can, it's very interesting that this method, we found this analytically very easily, and that encouraged us to find the correlation energy. E correlation energy is S1, there is a direct term. There are chi1 has got two terms, direct term, and there is a self energy term, and there is exchange term. So in the omega integration here, we find that this omega integration became so simple, but in seconds we got the result, analytical result for that. And we also found that this self energy does not contribute to this integral. That goes to 0. Here some contribution comes, but when you sum over K and Q, this goes to 0. Analytically goes to 0. And so you have only 2 terms to calculate. Here is the technology is given here, this thing, and then you have to expand up to the RS order. RS tending to 0 order, you have to expand this. And so chi1 self energy, chi1 exchange, and chi0 is this. This is detail I'm summarizing. Now results have started coming. You can find out analytical expression for the exchange energy for both the wire, cylindrical wire as well as harmonic wire, exactly for finite B. I once again repeat that you can find the exchange energy of harmonic wire and cylindrical wire exactly for any polarization. You know, we consider now general polarized gas. For any polarization, this expression can be obtained. And for cylindrical wire, this is equation, and they are almost same. They are same actually. You will, when you examine them, you will find the same. This and now for fully polarized gas, G is equal to 1, P is equal to 1. This simple, it reduces simple formula. This, and for unpolarized gas, G is equal to 2, P is equal to 0. This is a again a very simple analytical result. For the exchange energy, these were I think these were known for this system. These were known by Fogler in 2005 in PRL. He wrote, but this result is new, and all the polarization results are new. You can for any polarization we find analytical result, and also find for finite B exchange energy. So in practice, the wire will have finite width. So you can calculate the exchange and correlation for finite width analytically. Okay. So these are in agreement with Fogler. So this is the, and of course this is the plotting the general polarization के लिए various polarization, the ground state energy. There is a ground state, minimum ground state. So these exist, these phases exist in this. You can, and I will not discuss much detail about this. What happened? This is the ground state energy density parameter RS. So you can see every, you have a minimum, but how the correlation is modified, that one has to further study that. So this needs to further examine. But I think we have, it has been proved by others and ourselves also that the ground state is a ferromagnetic. Ground state is ferromagnetic. Well, now you can see, if you can B tending 0, you can exactly get epsilon correlation energy, and the structure factor is this, RS tending to 0. And this is the RS 0.7 simulation and theory. This, but you can see there is what I have obtained is a Fermi liquid. The Tyndall liquid behavior is reflected here. That is not coming here. Our result is exact for normal Fermi liquid. And this is reflected in simulation, because simulation you solve exactly. I hope that I have conveyed the point. So this we found in the simulation. This is very sensitive to number of electrons you take in simulation, and we have given a formula how it depends on number of electrons. So we can you know, this is for infinite wire, but this simulation result are for finite wire, but they have been taken thermodynamic limit, and we found that the height of the structure factor, this depends on the it is different than the normal factor view. This result is exact everywhere. It is exact, except at one particular point, this particular K, it doesn't agree exactly. There is small difference. And here also the same thing is small difference. There are two RS have been plotted, 0.9 and it is not that small RS. You can see it is a almost RS1, where the potential kinetic energy is equal. So, but you can see the excellent agreement except at one point, slight thing. So that's I think very satisfying. And then the pair correlation function can be calculated from that. And here also most of things are agreeing. Small differences comes near the peak because of the region I have explained to you. We are not, the Fermi liquid cannot take into account, Fermi liquid cannot take into account the Lagrangian liquid behavior. You know, Rajinder, you can recall that when we are doing theory with the polarized electron gas, some of the features we were getting for the Lagrangian liquids, both the modes we are getting correctly. Both the modes we are getting correctly. The sound wave and plasma. And we had a big fight with the referee. You remember that? So,
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Big fight. So, it is a good way to understand Lagrangian liquid, I will say, to begin with. For understanding liquid is a very good beginning, starting point. And advantage is that you can solve analytically. So, we have analytical expression for GR, for small RS, small RS. Similarly, we have analytical expression. These results are not there. Exact expressions or analytical expression are not there in the literature. So this we have the expression for this, and this is simulation. This. And another interesting thing I have, if you from our analytical expression, if you take the small r limit, it goes like that. No, it depends upon GS. Suppose GS is 1, then this term goes to 0. This. And then you can see GR is proportional to R square. That means the wave function at R tending to 0 limit is proportional to R. That means, and this is the exact result proved by the theorem. That is how the simulation data is, simulation has been possible. There is no node, there is a node in the many body wave function when two electrons come closer to each other. When they come closer to each other, then the wave function goes to 0. And you can see that is depicted from here. GR is R square. And another important result it gives is this term, this coefficient will be positive because this is 0. So this pair correlation function will be positive if this is greater than this quantity. So here we get analytical expression R should be less than 1.1 upon 1.15. 1.15. RS should be less than 1.15. You can get the the theory is valid up to that point for normal Fermi liquid. I hope I have conveyed the message. Hello, Rajinder?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What I am saying is that for if RS is less than 1.15, then small r expansion is valid. Okay, and that is valid. Small r expansion is valid. And another thing is you can see small r completely agrees with the simulation data. Completely agrees with simulation data. So these are analytically and these simulation data you can see here. This
which also satisfy the Kimball identity.
Yeah, it also satisfies Kimball identity. So I think I have summarized. There are a lot of things which I have omitted because calculation was quite involved. So I thought I should leave the calculation and give the main feature. And let me now summarize. And there will be a lot of time, I think, for the question. Time for the question. Let me summarize the result and conclusion. Variation Monte Carlo has been used to obtain the ground state energy, momentum distribution, structure factor, and pair correlation function For RS tending to 0, that means high density limit, we have provided these data, and low density limit data were already there, and they go smoothly to each other, they match, one-to-one matching is there. So this is the first result you can see has been obtained, and we have theoretically tried to analyze these results theoretically. This, how can we understand from the theory? So RPA variant, which I call RPA with exchange, I think Rajinder Modgil knows that I have been calling it RPA with variant. Now here I called it RPA variant, not RPA, but some different, little different than RPA, is used to study both dynamical as well as structure properties of one-dimensional electron gas using the fluctuation dissipation theorem. That is the very useful fluctuation dissipation theorem, and it is enables to this kind of theories are not very many. Where you can know the dynamics. I have not studied the dynamics here. I studied only the structure. So by integration you get the structure. You get both the information. That is the one thing I have liked from my very beginning, from my PhD work to up to date. I start from dynamical theory and get the static structure factor. For example, in my PhD thesis, I had obtained the Green's function, one particle Green's function, and from that I calculated all the thermodynamic free energy, and from that all the other thermodynamic properties follows. So I have continued to do that. Same philosophy has been same, that to start from the linear response dynamic theory and make approximation to dynamical quantities and get both the dynamics and the structure. Many theories are some of them deal only with the structure, some of deal with only dynamics. Here it is, you can see the consistent picture. Whatever approximation you make, you get your result, both the result. So it is the advantage of getting both the result. There you make one approximation, you get only one result. If you start the partition function theory, static structure factor, and all those things has been obtained. They can be obtained, there are methods. But this method, and whatever approximation you make, this is the philosophy I think Rajinder Modgil has also been following, that he does both dynamics and the structure. So this is one I think people appreciate this thing. The exchange energy has been obtained analytically for harmonic and cylindrical wire of arbitrary thickness and for any polarization. So this is a new result, completely new result. The exchange energy has been obtained analytically for harmonic and cylindrical wire of arbitrary thickness and for any polarization. And the structure factor and the correlation energy, structure factor and also the pair correlation function. I have said one is structure factor, but they are related to Fourier transform. And the correlation energy has been obtained analytically. You can see here. I have not given the expression in my talk. This analytical expression, they are published in the paper. And analytically for both harmonically and cylindrical confined electron gas RS tending to 0 limit. So this, the most important conclusion is, it is pleasing to note that the correlation energy does not depend the way the electron gas potential is regularized, at least for two cases. We had fighting with the referee in physical review that I wrote a slightly different version of this. I wrote that it is pleasing to note that the correlation energy does not depend the way the electron gas potential is regularized. He says you have not proved by more than these two methods. We have to write at least for two cases discussed here. So in two cases we find same, and this is the also a structure factor and pair correlation function. This result is also, I should have written down, but I did not write it. So this is very simple calculation, but method I tried to talk about this so that the students and PhD students they should grasp how to do the calculation for the electron gas or many body system. What are difficulty involved? So one should take a simple approach first and understand and try to make approximation to proceed. So the systems, highly correlated systems, are very difficult. We cannot do much. You can see. If you go, for example, this is free electron metals. If you go to tight binding situation becomes much more difficult. And so the correlation is a very important thing to study, and properties are very different than the weakly correlated systems. So I think I stop at this point. There's a time for questioning. So I think for 45 minutes I have spoken. Okay.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you for so informative talk on one-dimensional.
I will be happy to answer question.
Yes. So the presentation is open for questions now. Please.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Thank you for such a nice talk.
Yes.
Sir, we have one question. For example, in case of cylindrical wire.
Cylindrical wire?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
For example, if we are writing density of a state as a function of energy for this case,
yeah.
Can we calculate, sir, or have you calculated for this case, sir?
Well, density of states, because that will be sum of the two. One is discrete energy harmonic oscillator, and
Yes,
the
sir.
other free electron part of density of states. So,
Yes, sir.
so
Yes, sir.
the free electron part is 1 upon root epsilon, and other density of states is harmonic oscillator density of states.
Okay,
Because
so-
they are separated, no? That depends
Yes, sir.
on the energy that Modgill will be able to answer better. How much excitation energy, that will not come in our experiments which are done in the field, you know. They are mostly confined to the lower energy level, lowest band. So that's not very, in my opinion, that's not very important in this case. But for other cases, it may be important. Yes.
Okay, sir. And sir, these results you have calculated with the help of this casino code only? The results which
Simulation results have been obtained with casino code,
Yes, sir.
and theoretical results are obtained with the linear response theory using fluctuation dissipation theory. These structures are calculated, ground state energy are calculated using the dynamical response theory. And exactly including terms up to order RS tending to zero limit. The dynamics has been done in RS tending to zero limit.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Any?
Yes. Any other question?
Hello. I have a small observation. Rather,
Please.
I want to discuss a point with sir.
Please.
Sir, you made a comparison between static structure factor on the basis of Casino, the variational Monte Carlo method, and then the RPA in the limit RS going to 0.
RPA with variant.
RPA with the first order correction.
G.
Yeah. So as you told that except for one point, which is basically Q by KF equal to 2, there is good agreement.
Yes.
So you also explained the reason that in variation Monte Carlo you are treating things exactly, whereas in the theoretical calculation you have treated the electrons
normal Fermi liquid.
A normal Fermi liquid. So I was just thinking of that if we just plug in your momentum distribution in the free response function in place of Fermi distribution, so can one think of that type of calculation?
Well, you can think, but I think their excitation is not free electron like. They are both are bosons.
Yeah.
So free response function will be omega minus CK, omega minus Fermi VFK. So the sound velocity, Fermi velocity, as you have seen in our paper, first you know that I think the spin excitation is VFK. Omega is equal to VFK, and the plasma excitation is under root Q log Q.
Yes, sir.
So that will not solve the problem.
That will not solve.
You have to bosonize the system. That's what I have asked Vinod to look at it. That
Okay. In direct way, we have to use
we have to start beginning. So
With the
that's why I also emphasize that even very small interaction introduces the abnormal behavior.
okay.
So the Luttinger liquid, and that is what our referee also said. The RPA is good theory. RPA is good theory, but howsoever small interaction is there, there is a correlation function, decay of the correlation function, and which
Yes,
we don't get in RPA.
Okay.
And so that is the point.
Okay. Okay.
So
Sir,
that way you can do, I think, if you modify the response function
Yeah.
and momentum distribution you take, you can do that calculation. Then you may get there.
That's what I was thinking of. That,
But not
we-
the Fermi liquid response.
Okay.
You have to get the Luttinger response.
Luttinger response. In that, we can plug in your momentum distribution.
You can plug in, yes.
Okay.
I hope that we can do with the 1D bosonization, Professor Patel.
Yeah.
sir, good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Sir, I have a question that you said that the ground state in one dimension is ferromagnetic. But
Yes.
if it is ferromagnetic, then it will post a greater exchange energy. Then why system prefers the ferromagnetic state?
Because that is the lowest energy state, and other polarization gives the higher energy states. The more stable is the ferromagnetic.
Okay, is this the balance with the Coulomb correlation?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Coulomb correlation brings the stability. Works like Pauli principle.
Hello,
To
sir.
prevent them to come closer.
Yes, sir.
Excuse me, sir. I have a few very basic questions since I'm just a student. So, in one of your slides, you said that you took the value of GS is equal to 1 and P is equal to 1 for polarized, and GS is equal to 2 and P is equal to 0 for unpolarized. So, like, how did you arrive at these values? Like, is it a general result?
Well, in unpolarized case, n up plus n down divided by n is the polarization. So when the n up becomes n down, then it is a P is 1. And polarization is defined n up minus n down. If both are equal, then it is 0. Number of electrons, one spin should be more than the other spin. Am I clear?
Yes, sir. And G factor, like
GS is 2. If GS is 2, if there are 2 electrons in that state, both are related.
no, right. And
DS is the generacy. For a polarized gas, it is 2. Unpolarized gas, there is 1.
right. And so one more doubt, like in that slide where you showed that at beginning, at low K values, it behaved like a Fermi liquid, but then at that critical K point, there was like some type of phase transition in the structure factor thought. So
That is the critical point. Yes.
so that phase transition is between
That
a
is the
Fermi liquid and a Luttinger liquid.
no. It's not. No. It is not phase transition. It is the effect of the interaction in one dimension. Coulomb correlation in one dimension is differently. It doesn't obey the normal Fermi liquid behavior.
Okay.
Because the there are 2 modes, 2 boson, one plasma, another you can call it spin wave.
Right.
Spin. So they lead to different behavior of the correlation function.
Okay.
And that is why the correlation function at Fermi point, the effect is most strong for interaction.
All right.
And we have in our work, we have always found that whatever theoretical model we make, we are correct everywhere except k is equal to 2kf. And it is now we understand that it is related with the Luttinger liquid. There are further effects of Luttinger. There are a lot of oscillation if you go to the larger RS. That I have not discussed. That is discussed in paper, earlier paper. So I limited myself to the RS tending to 0 only. And just giving some definition of the Luttinger liquid. I have not dealt with the Luttinger liquid. Actually, I have dealt with the normal Fermi liquid. Except the simulation is exactly deals with. Casino simulation does exact calculation. So it brings out whatever is there. Okay?
Okay, sir.
So the last slide, can you show? Last slide, I think I want to put my collaborator who worked. Last slide.
I think you have to present it again. It was.
Yeah,
You have to present it again.
you can see. These are Renu.
Sir, you have to present your slide again. It is not visible to anybody.
Yeah. This is okay. These are the Journal of Physics, Europhysics. Montgill was very much active worker in that. Physical Review. These paper with I think Renu and Ashokan and some German is also involved. So I really appreciate their hard work, So this is a reflection of many years' work. It's not 1 year or something like that. It's many years, I think 5, 7 years, 8 years. I think I started with. And we have been fighting with the referees all the time because somehow in the beginning we did not believe that Luttinger liquid because we had not read anything about this. Slowly we accepted, and now we are understanding somewhat Luttinger liquid. This. So these are the people who have worked with this. Okay.
Any other question from the participant side? Any other question? Any other queries?
Particularly for students, I would invite question from the students regarding free electron gas. Normally when I went for the selection for the lecturership post, I was question, prove that the electrons in metals follow Fermi-Dirac statistics. So that question I never forget. Hello?
Yeah, yes, sir. You're audible.
So that's why I'm saying that I was asked that question. This. And there are another question, semiconductor is used in these materials. So I wanted to, for the students' sake, make a comment about that. Because semiconductor, there are two types of semiconductors, direct gap and indirect gap. Somebody was talking yesterday also. So direct gap semiconductors are those semiconductors where the top of the valence band lies just above the just below the conduction band minimum, just below minimum of the conduction band and maximum of the valence band. So that is called band gap. And there are two types of band gap. One is electrical band gap, other is the optical band gap. This question is often asked at even the selection of the director level. And many people are very aware of this difference. Because, it's simple to understand that when you excite when you sign the photon to a direct gap semiconductor, or even indirect semiconductor, the difference I am not explaining. I'm explaining optical band gap and electrical band gap. So electron absorbs the photon and just absorbing the energy of the just band gap, which I introduced earlier. And this energy is just the binding energy of exciton. Electron hole pair is there, energy of electron hole pair. But as long as electron hole pair are bound, they cannot conduct the electricity. So you have to give energy up to the photon, photon band gap energy plus binding energy of exciton. Then electron will be unbound and they move and provide the conduction. So that is the electrical band gap. Another is the optical band gap. And so this is the and that in some semiconductor, low gap semiconductor, that's very important. There are materials they have found that you have to make that correction. So that is point. I had a slide of that. I don't know what happened to that. This indirect is different. That you can measure the band gap by indirect band gap because they have to give more energy than the band gap energy. So it electron absorbs the phonon and transfer momentum and goes to the minimum of the conduction band. So that is how we measure the energy band gap. So that is indirect semiconductor. Because in this work, indirect semiconductor, the gallium arsenide and things like that has been used. These are the indirect gap semiconductor which are used. But they can happen, both the experimentalists know better these things than we know.
Okay, if there is no more question, let us thank Professor Pathak for such a wonderful, informative talk today on the electron gas, one-dimensional electron gas. Thank you, sir. Thank you,
Thank
sir,
you. Thank you very much.
For accepting our invitation. In fact, you are the main.
No. You have worked hard.
Okay, so thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your help and presence in each and every lectures. It means a lot for us. Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you, Professor Modgil.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Modgil. Thank you.
So tomorrow, fourth day, we will be having two lectures. One from HRI Professor Sumati Rao, HRI Allahabad, in the morning session, and in the evening session we will be having a talk by Professor Vikram Tripathi from TFR Mumbai. So all the participants, thank you very much for joining today. Tomorrow also you have to join 10 minutes before the start of the session. Okay, so thank you one and all presents. Thank you so much. Thank you, sir. See you tomorrow. Thank you.
कैसे दिखाते हैं, जरा बता देंगे?